All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're not in our usual environment. Today, I'm in my car, one of my cars, so excuse the engine sound. Today, we're in the McLaren. I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about my journey from making my first sale in entrepreneurship all the way up into my first million, several millions after that. So just walking you guys through the beginning stages, helping you guys get a good perspective and conceptualize what it looks like to actually become a seven-figure earner in the business of entrepreneurship. My first sale was from my clothing brand, For the Low Clothing. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard this story before, but if you're new here, the first business I ever started was a clothing brand. You know, just regular streetwear, selling like t-shirts, hoodies, and things like that. It was summer 2016 when I first got out of college, and I realized that it was so easy to build a community that I could monetize off of because everyone lived so close together. Proximity was my best friend in that case. The fact that I knew so many people in the city, that I went to college in, just gave me the idea that maybe if I could sell 100 t-shirts for $30, $40, I can make a couple grand and get through the semester. I did get through the semester for sure, but a couple hundred hoodies turned into thousands of sales. I know a lot of y'all are scared to post and promote yourself, but one thing I will say is every single platform is a good opportunity and a different opportunity to get a new customer. So anyways, I posted on Facebook and a couple other social media platforms around the time. My first sale did come from Facebook. So some dude DM'd me. He asked me, he was like, oh, how much are the shirts? I was like, $20. I'll drop them off for $25. I think he lived like 10 or 15 minutes away from me. He told me he was at work and he would get off at 6. I remember sitting at my doorstep from 4 p.m. all the way to like 5:30 and just holding the package and just being so excited to go deliver it. So for that first hour and a half, all I could think about was like scaling my brand, and maybe there's gonna be a day where I'm delivering all over the city or all over the state and trying to become like maybe a household name. So after I did the delivery and I made my first $25 sale, I thought that I could change my life with this brand. Fast forward up into 2017, my first year in the brand, I made $11,000. So I know a lot of y'all are probably like $11,000 in a year. It's not really a lot of money, and it's not. I wasn't really eating much. I know it sounds crazy. I wasn't really eating much. I was sacrificing a lot. I wasn't buying no new clothes, no new shoes. I was just recycling the same fits, just trying to make money and put all my money back into the business, right? So then my second year, I ended up making $100,000 because I doubled down and invested in myself and I scaled the brand. One thing that did help me scale from 5 figures to 6 figures was promoting on social media every single day. I know a lot of you guys in the comments is watching. You probably got a brand or something that you're trying to sell, and you're scared to bug your friends and your followers with consistent posts promoting yourself. One thing I will say is they're not going to pay your bills. So you have to figure out a way to promote yourself in a way so you can monetize your platform. If you're scared of posting because you want to be mysterious or you want to be too cool, then business entrepreneurship is probably not going to be for you, especially in 2025. So after I scaled to 6 figures, obviously next is 7. We got the magic number 7. To get to $1 million, what I always say is you got to do $100,000 10 times. And I know it sounds very simple, but if you break up $1 million into smaller increments and you target out those goals and you're hitting those targets every single semester, every single period, or every single month, it definitely makes it a lot easier to swallow. Because if you're looking at $1 million as a goal, I mean, you probably got like $5,000 or $6,000 in your bank account, it's gonna sound like it's so far away. But if you could say, okay, I need to get to 100,000 first, that means I need to get 10K 10 times. So now all you're looking at is getting 10K. Once you do it once, you learn how to do it again through repetition and practicing those same tactics. Once you get to 100K, same exact thing, just at scale. That was one of the strategies that definitely took me through. Became a millionaire when I was still in college. A lot of people don't know that. I was still going to engineering school. I had already sold $1 million worth of clothes. My business was valued at over $1 million. And I think the thing that kept me focused in school was understanding that it could all be taken away from me in an instant, whether it be my brand isn't hot anymore, because all these brands come and go. I always watch stuff about Diamond Supply, the Hundreds, Obey, Crooks and Castles. And some of y'all young people don't even know about what the brands I'm talking about. If y'all older, then y'all definitely know those brands were hot at some point, and all of a sudden nobody's really wearing them. So I always treated the industry like it wasn't gonna last forever. And I guess you could treat it like maybe a sinking ship. So I knew that school was probably gonna be my end all be all until I went to New York Fashion Week in 2019. New York Fashion Week, the reason why that's so significant is because that changed my perspective on networking to a completely different level. If I'm around people who have the same mindset, you know, that whole broke college student mindset, everyone around you is thinking small, thinking, oh, I'm just gonna get a job, I'm gonna pass this test, or I'm gonna study for this class. You start to think that that's the only possibility or the only way out for you. But when you start being around a whole bunch of people who bet on themselves and they're living life comfortably and they're not living with a sinking ship mindset, you start to realize, okay, maybe I could take this risk. Maybe I can double down on this business or this risk or this opportunity that I'm creating for myself. So what I did was, as soon as I came back from New York Fashion Week, I went straight to the admissions office at UTSA, shout out to the runners, and I submitted my letter of withdrawal. They asked me if I was sure about it, and I think one thing that I had to remind myself was, I can't treat the business like there's a backup plan. And my backup plan at the time was mechanical engineering. You know, they get paid. Once I got rid of that backup plan, it forced me to eat, sleep, and breathe my business on a daily basis. If I was putting out 1 piece of content a day, it turned into 4 pieces of content a day. If I was doing 1 drop a month, it turned into 5 drops a month. I was able to double down, triple down, and have more of a sense of urgency when it came to promoting my brand and my business. That definitely took me from 6 figures up into 7, and then 7 up into 8. After I stopped selling clothes back in 2021 or 2022, I realized that digital products was probably gonna be a little bit easier because I'd already built up my notoriety for being known selling clothes. Once I used my platform to start making money with the clothes, I transitioned, why not get into digital products? I think the first thing I did was I wrote a guide for how to start a clothing brand, and I feel like I was an expert in that field by then, judging by the fact that I had made millions of dollars doing so. And a lot of people started catching wind of, my expertise and my experience. So they would ask me, oh, Vic, who'd you go to for your vendors? Or who packages your clothes? Or who makes your logos? So I gave them every single thing as far as graphic designers, website makers, clothing vendors, and I just packaged it into a digital PDF of my intellectual property. And I think at the time I was selling it for maybe $25 or $50. I got my first sale through Cash App. Then after that, I was like, let me just put this online, and whoever wants it, you could just go get it. I never spent a dime on ads. All I did was say, if you want it, come get it. This is my results. This is my expertise. This is my experience. Let me know how y'all feeling about it. That first guide, I sold $100,000 worth of that guide within the first 6 months I dropped it. If you calculate it, I made $100,000 off something that I wrote one time in half a year, and I didn't have to ship, fold, package, cut, deal with somebody's address being wrong as far as, selling clothes goes. Granted, it was less money than I made selling clothes, but it showed me the opportunity to scale in that industry versus a physical product industry. Once I understood more of the digital product game, I started writing more products. So if I could make $100,000 in 6 months with one product, what could I do with 5 products? How many products could I sell back to the same person or the repeating customer based on what they need in their journey of whatever it is that they're trying to sell? Maybe I'll give you the vendor list in January and you pay me for that. And then in February, we'll give you the marketing. March, we'll give you maybe graphic design and websites. April, we'll give you SEOs and retargeting. May, we'll give you like the giveaways and how to promote yourself on social media. You're becoming a recurring customer for the intellectual property. And I'm not having to ship you anything. So there is no hoodies coming in. There is no, we're waiting on Pakistan or China to ship out the hoodies. There is no none of that. As soon as you purchase the product that I write one time, it immediately gets delivered to whether it's your email or your SMS or whatever information you provided on the website. So once I started scaling that, I knew that that's where I wanted to spend most of my time and my energy. Fast forward to 2025, I've sold $10 million worth of digital products online. I know it sounds crazy, but I'd rather be selling digital products than physical products any given day. It's easier, and it's easier to reach more people. It's easier to affect more people. And I think one thing that probably gives us a bad reputation, because there's a lot of people that sell like bullshit courses, bullshit guides, things that don't really help and maybe seem like a money grab, is because I have the experience to back up what I'm explaining to people. A lot of people will learn something on YouTube real quick and then jump on Instagram where their platform is and trick people into thinking that they're expert in that field. Those are the people you got to look out for. Those are the people you got to watch out for. Someone online is selling you a guide and they're talking about some sort of field that they became a millionaire in, or they know how to scale, or Airbnb or real estate or credit. Don't buy no credit repair from somebody with a 600 credit score. And don't buy no real estate course from somebody with no properties. And don't buy no clothing brand course from somebody who ain't made $1 million selling clothes. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So if you feel like a lot of people are scamming or getting off on you, then it's probably because you're not doing your due diligence. I just want everybody to understand that that's something that you got to do on your own. I don't buy ads. I don't spend money on ads because I don't want to force my product down anybody's face. I don't want to force my product down anybody's timeline. If you find me, you found me because my product speaks for itself. And maybe somebody told you about my product. Or maybe you seen one of my videos that went viral of me talking about the things that I do and the things that I'm able to do now. If that's something that you want to do, just know that it's going to take a lot of pivoting. It's going to take a lot of challenges, trials. You're going to be sacrificing a lot. But at the end of the day, it's all worth it. You could be cruising around in your $300,000 McLaren on I think it's Wednesday. That's the point. You're not supposed to know what day it is. I think a lot of people have this like misconception that it's lonely at the top. And it's not necessarily lonely at the top. It's just different at the top. So the friends that you had whenever you was kicking shit, not really having no emotion, it's going to be completely different from when you get to where you want to be, because not everybody is as disciplined and responsible and willing to make the sacrifices as you are. Your friends will definitely change. Let's think of it like maybe like an hourglass figure, right? So you have like more of like the width at the bottom. That's you at the bottom with all your friends. And as you get higher up, closer to the middle, it kind of thins out. So you're going to be at a place where you're going to be lonely for a certain period of time. And that's the middle of the hourglass. But as you keep elevating, it starts to broaden out again. Now you're meeting more people who have made the same sacrifices that you made, that think the same way that you think, and have the same amount of discipline as you. So your friends will go from irresponsible, smoking weed, playing 2K, playing a video game all day, to people who understand investments, travel, take trips, have financial freedom, have time freedom. And yes, it's going to be completely different from the friends that you had, but that's the only way that it's going to work for you, because you can't bring everybody with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like you don't like the people. It's just that they're not equipped for the journey that you're trying to go on. And that's okay. So let's say you finally hit $1 million, right? You're probably thinking, okay, Vic, what do I do now? In order to scale and stay rich, because it's easier to get rich than it is to stay rich, you got to understand that learning about money and studying money is what's going to keep the money in your pocket. So knowing how to invest it, where to invest it, and how much to invest it, there's so many different options. You can get into crypto, you can get into stocks, you can get into real estate, you can get into a high yield savings account. There's so many different things you could do. Figure out what works for you. I won't tell you to start a car rental company if you live in Idaho, because nobody's renting cars there. And I won't tell you to start an Airbnb company in the middle of Atlanta, because you already got beat to the punch. Just figure out what works for you, your market. So I won't tell you to invest the whole $1 million if you're not comfortable leveraging $1 million, or you need that $1 million to continue operating your business. Maybe save up 6 months worth of living expenses, put that to the side for sure, leave that in cash just in case anything goes left, and try to invest the majority of whatever you have left over. As far as me personally, when I hit my first $1 million, I just kept reinvesting my money back into the business and learning about stocks and crypto. I believe in my money should never be sitting collecting dust. My money should always be working to bring back friends. But when I say friends, I mean more dollars. That's my formula, turning one sale into 8 figures. Hopefully you can follow it and do the same, and we'll be both cruising in our supercars on a Wednesday afternoon. When it comes down to reinvesting and keeping your living expenses really low, I was living in a small apartment while I was a millionaire. A lot of people don't know that, because once you make $1 million, a lot of people are just thinking about the big shiny things that they always wanted, whether that's a penthouse, whether that's a mansion, a condo, or just traveling the world. I kept it real humble, real quiet, because I knew that in order to stay rich, I had to keep most of that money working for me and working for my business. So my monthly expenses around that time, when I first hit $1 million, was probably no more than $3,000 a month, including my car note, maybe my food, because I had meal preps, my apartment, which was only $1,100 a month. The fact that I'm paying so little to stay alive and making so much, it made it so much easier for me to throw $100,000 at a stock that I liked, or crypto that I liked. Most of my money's in Bitcoin now, but back then, there was a lot of opportunities in the bull market to make a quick 3, 4, 5x return. As far as lifestyle upgrades, I probably didn't really change anything too serious about my lifestyle until I was making about $40,000 to $50,000 a month. And I know that sounds maybe aggressive, but I try to keep my spending within 10% of my monthly income. So if I'm making $50,000 a month, maybe I could spend $5,000 a month on an apartment, or maybe I could spend $5,000 a month on a car note. But at that point, I'm maxed out. I'm not gonna go run it up to $20,000 or $30,000 just because I'm making 50. Let's say I'm making $250,000 a month. Now my living expenses could cost me no more than $25,000 a month. That leaves me $225,000 every single month to find investment opportunities, to invest back into my business, or to just build my portfolios in all aspects. That 10% rule is a rule that I will follow if you are aiming to get a high income every single month and a high investment rate every single month. Make sure you tap in for more from the GOAT. This is just one of many vlogs coming out. I'm gonna keep giving y'all the sauce on the sports betting, the stock market, the crypto, anything related to social media and making money from your phone with a Wi-Fi connection or Wi-Fi signal. So if you got Wi-Fi or you live by McDonald's, you could tap in and you can make some money, you could change your life. Let's get right to it.